is a robust omni-channel platform to manage end-to-end communication flows. The platform helps enterprises to engage with customers at every touch point across voice, chat, SMS, WhatsApp, and other digital channels. It fully integrates with CRM and other business applications and offers a truly omni-channel experience for customers. Today, we have gathered some very senior leaders from the educational and edtech companies who would share interesting insights on how to foster effective student teacher interactions in both remote and in person learning environments, and many more aspects on the technology front. Now, I would like to introduce our moderator, Mr. Prantik Goswami, Manager Account Based Marketing with Ozone Communication, who would be then inviting the panelists to introduce themselves. So, thank you, Prantik, for joining in today, and over to you.
Thanks a lot, Ekta, for a lovely introduction. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today here. And I would like to thank our esteemed panelists for joining us and sharing the time. The topic for today is enhancing student engagement with CCaaS, which is Cloud Contact Center as a Service. And we would like to discuss how we'll try to gain some practical knowledge from industry experts on how to leverage communication strategies to create the best interactive and personalized learning experiences. We'll discuss some case studies on best practices leading to student counselor interactions, use cases with respect to an edtech or an education company dealing with students, the parents, and how they deal with the change in communication space. I am Prantik Goswami, ABM Marketing Manager at Ozontel, and I would like to welcome you all. But before we begin the discussion, I'd like to ask our panelists to quickly introduce themselves, how many years of experience in the edtech space, and what they do at the current organization. So, Jyoti, if you can start.
Thanks, Prantik, and hi, everyone. Myself, Jyoti Gupta, and I am the co-founder of Ediora Ed5. And I come with an experience of 13 years into education space, edtech. Yeah.
Thanks, Jyoti. Glad to have you here. Vikas.
Hi, good afternoon all. My name is Vikas. I am currently working with NIIT Limited, one of the largest educational companies in the business space in India and globe. But my overall experience has been around 2 decades. I have been into consulting. I have consulted a lot of big wigs, the names that you may name today, like academies, to set up certain portions of their business, their curriculums, set up classes. And I've also been an educator myself into the classes. So I have been responsible for more than 1,400 people being upskilled into different divisions while I was consulting an academies, one of the BUs. But in overall scenario, in the last 5 years, I have completely devoted myself into education space globally, and I have been nurtured in an environment wherein I have been myself a leader, and I have also been into the footprints of some of the larger leaders who have been in this industry. But overall talent management space, if I put it across, close to 20 years is what I have already clocked in. And looking forward to a great session with all the gentlemen here, with ladies, gentlemen, and the beautiful participant list that I can see. So thank you all once again, and pleasure being part of this.
Thank you, Vikas. Really looking forward to hearing some exciting insights based on your 20 years of experience. Devajati? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone, and many thanks to Benelitics and Ozontel for inviting me. I have been into education right from the beginning. It's the 20th year now, so 2 decades. Broadly, I was into management education. I started as a faculty and moved into senior management. With Akash, I am there for more than 5 years now, and this was a shift when I left teaching and came full-time into administration and strategy. And so if you talk about EdTech experience, I will say about 5 years, overall education 2 decades. I take care of faculty recruitment, faculty training, performance management, and of course, I do a lot of seminars for the students and parents. And I also do a lot of staff training. And my region is entire West Bengal and one part of Bihar. So currently 15 centers. So nice to meet you all. And I'm sure the session will be really enriching for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Debajiti. Welcome to the panel. Dr. Bhushan, we can go.
So good afternoon, everyone. And I'm very privileged that I could be part of this session today. I could see the August gathering present here with eminent masters of their areas. I, Dr. Bhushan Bonde, am the principal for Poddar International School, Navi Mumbai, Nerul, and I head the ICSE board school here. And if you talk about the experience, I'm a by heart teacher and 20 years of experience, and started with a primary teacher's job, and then now I'm heading one school, having 2,500 children studying with me from grade 1 to 12. And yes, I look forward to have a wonderful session with each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhushan. Dr. Santos?
Hello all. It is my privilege, and I'm very pleased to be a part of this session along with eminent personalities over here. I am Dr. Santosh, and I have been in education industry since last 21 years. I started as a biology teacher, and now I am currently the zonal head for Mumbai and Patiala, Punjab. The Z-Learn vertical called as Mahesh Tutorials, Lakshya. So it is one of the limited company amongst the education space, and we are catering to more than 20,000 plus students across India. And I look into basically the academic operations, and I also am a teacher trainer and looking after the NEET division, the students who are trying for the medical entrance examination. And we have a arena of services which we provide to our students, including 8th, 9th, 10th coaching for state board, CBSE, ICSE, and we also have 11th and 12th standard IIT, JEE, NEET coaching, and we are having our Lakshya Engineering Academy for the engineering coaching. We have a wonderful product called as Robomed Plus, which is a curriculum-based study app, therefore supporting the student 24/7 for their study purposes. And this program is wonderful. When I read the topic of the program, how to have a student engagement very effectively using various tools. So I immediately accepted the offer because it was wonderful learning to come up. Now I recently completed my MBA from Upgrad, and in my research work, in the MBA final year research work, I had one of this topic in my dissertation, wherein how can service quality in the edtech and the other education sector help out in creating continuous engagement with students, which will lead to customer retention and also the increase in business. Okay, so this is the very favorite topic of mine. So it is going to be a wonderful conversation for me as well as for everyone. So looking forward for this program.
We too. We're really looking forward to hearing your more thoughts on the same going through. Rohit?
Hi everyone, I am Rohit Manglik, founder and CEO of Edigoila. To talk about my background, I studied from an IT circle, and then I got 7 years of experience in education sector. In Edigoila, we have somewhere around 250 plus employees, and 45,000 students study from us on a daily basis. We got 900 plus titles, and we're probably one of the top 10 edtech startups in India right now. So yeah, that's a brief.
Glad to have you here, Rohit. Ram?
Thanks, Prantik. Hello, everyone. I'm Ram Pradeep Kumar, and currently I'm with Ozontel Communications. Have been associated with Ozontel since 2013, when Ozontel was among the few players in cloud telephony space in India. Since then, we have grown, evolved, and stand today as one of the industry leaders in Indian CCaaS, customer contact center as a service. In this landscape, our contact center software supports more than 1 lakh agent logins every day with more than 2 billion calls. powered by Ozontal annually. So I actively look into building and assessing system architecture while recommending solutions to improve the usability and user experience. I closely work with sales and pre-sales team and often do customized client demos for unique business requirements. Today, I'm happy to be part of this one-of-a-kind webinar and eagerly look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
As always, glad to have you here, Ram, and thank you for always supporting us in the journey. So yeah, what an experienced panel. We have at least 4 speakers with over 20 years of experience in the education space, and really looking forward to the insights today. Quickly jumping into the topic to not lose any more time. It is seen that the emergence of digital channels, from emails to WhatsApp to chatbots, has caught the attention of almost every industry. And most industries have left no channel unexplored, be it for the sales services, be it for customer service, be it for support, or be it for upgrading the tech stack. I would like to know how does the education sector look into it? What are the communication channels which the education sector deem necessary to be able to effectively cater and engage the student or student counselor, student teacher engagement more effectively? So, Dr. Santosh, why don't you start?
Okay, so see, when we are talking about student engagement and how education sector is dealing with it, I would like to first of all bring everybody's attention to 2 perspectives. See, we are having over here students and parents. So when being in education sector, we have to take care of both of them, because one who is directly involved with us taking our services as student, but one who decides to send the student to us, or take the quality education with us, is the parent. So we have to think from both of their perspective. Now, what are the common challenges which are there? First of all, let us look into that. Then we will be able to figure out as to what are the techniques we are using. So if we talk about student perspective, first of all, these students are exposed to wide variety of resources nowadays. Okay, now they are into gamings, they are into studies. For studies also, there are so many platforms available in today's time. Second thing is, many of the platforms are having such a wonderful and engaging interface. They provide rewards to the students. But when we talk about schools and traditional coaching or the traditional teaching practices, we teach from textbooks. We tell the student to write down, and the student, they feel the other platforms are more engaging and more interesting than the conventional things. Moreover, all the platforms which are available in today's world, they are keeping on evolving. Whereas the study pattern which is available, that is the same routine study pattern. And along with that, they also have peer pressure. There are so many students, they know so many other apps, and they keep on suggesting their friends, this app has come up, you can solve your doubts from this, you can practice, you get a lot of practice paper from this particular site. So this is the students' exposure which is happening. Now, when you talk from a parent perspective, in today's world, see, both the parents are working. So for them, what happens is the student is going to school, they are going to coaching, or they are using certain kind of resources, but the parent have very less time to understand what his student is actually exposed to. Second is, if you see the learning system, the pattern has changed from what it was earlier in before 10 years, 20 years, and what it is right now. The pattern has changed. And believe me, we as a parent, I am from the parent group, who's one of the child is in 8th standard and another child is in 12th standard. If you see, in our case, the technological upskilling, now I am into this field, that is why, I still know much. But imagine a parent who is into a banking sector or who is into some other kind of business or some other vertical. For him, understanding all this technological, the new things which have come up, NEP, and the new type of systems, now the board being introduced in 8th standard, 9th standard. This thing is very new to the parent, and the adaptability of parent is very less. Moreover, the parent is also having comparison, with the student and the other students, or his fellow beings, I am getting to hear that one of my friend has send his child to study from Byju's. One of the friend is saying, no, Lakshya is better. Ari, I have heard about a new thing which has come up. They are using Robomed Plus as a study app. So if you see, the parents are having lot of confusion and lot of things. At this particular time, the parent is having one more concern, which comes to me regularly. The parent is saying, sir, you are talking about all the kind of resources, all the kind of online apps, but I am bothered about the screen time exposure of my child. How do I make sure that my child is exposed for less time for screen and does more of studies? So these are the challenges which education space is right now, facing. At this point of time, EdTech and lot of things which we are introducing in the perspective of parent and also keeping the student engaging, that kind of platform is necessary for today's time. That is what I feel which is required now in coming time. When I hear about everybody's viewpoint, then I will also give an insight that how we help out the students in being engaged, and without spending more time in the screen, still they are getting a lot of notification, lot of engagement through the platforms which we are using.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Santosh. I think we get your point comparing the traditional and edtech point of view. I would like to hear the thoughts from someone who has sort of from a space who has digitally transformed the entire space. Rohit, you're from a purely edtech based company, so please share your insights on the same.
Sure. So for me, everything in EdTech, in education, boils down to what success you are able to impart to your students. However, it's a function of whether you're talking about K8 or 9th, 10th or 11th, 12th, or for the test prep, higher ed or vocational, and so on and so forth. Now, especially talking about the test prep segment where we have the expertise, for us, it's all the decision making, whether you have to communicate through WhatsApp or through SMS, email, notifications, push notifications, and so on, web notifications, so on and so forth. It boils down whether each and every notification is helping the student to get a higher success rate in his education, right? Now, if we go deeper into this, what we have analyzed is each segment has a different pattern. So for example, if we talk about K-12, in K-12, the decision making is with the parents, right? And the end consumer are the students. At the same time, if we talk about test prep, this for the government jobs, for the for GMAT and all of that, the decision makers are the students who are the buyers as well and who are going to consume your content. So now again, if we are targeting the place where the students are the decision makers and they have to buy it, and how do you measure whether what notifications, so you can send the notification at 10 o'clock in the morning or at 10 o'clock in the night, right? Which one is right and which channel do you want to leverage? Now, having said that, if you are sending it for the state government job students, what we have personally seen is SMS, email doesn't work. Email doesn't work over there. You have to be very personalized for the student. You have to probably deliver it through the WhatsApp. That is a much more open rate or click-through rate. Or you have to do a mobile push notification. At the same time, if you are talking with the student for GMAT, right? The email notifications work much better than the WhatsApp notification in terms of the ROI perspective and in terms of the success perspective that you are imparting to the students. So, in my opinion, you cannot have one size fits all for all the segments over here. See, the money that a student pays for, let's say for the SSC exam, is around 500 rupees per month in a rural Bharat, right? At the same time, a student pays on 2 lakh rupees in Akash for a yearly course. So the prices is completely different. So the TG is different, and so the communication channel that you have to leverage, the timing that you have to leverage, has to be a function of the TG that you are targeting.
Absolutely. I think We totally agree. Being from the communications industry, like where we have enabled customer engagement for various companies, what we have seen is the channel works for as per the demographics. We totally agree. WhatsApp is a very upcoming channel, but other channels like mobile push notifications has come on board, and there's also email, there's SMS working. So I'd like to hear from Jyoti, what do you think is the communication channel which is working for you or working for the industry, or do you agree with Rohit? And
See, I completely agree what Rohit ji and Santosh ji they have said, because see, it was completely opposite time when, I mean, before COVID, the time of the time which EdTech was facing was completely opposite during the COVID and after the COVID. I mean, the ball has completely changed. And I mean, every single second for an EdTech company, even if EdTech is approaching to schools or approaching to coaching institutes, every single minute, the core members of the team have, they have to change their policies. I mean, if they are approaching to schools, so all of a sudden they realize, oh no, you can't go to A-level schools, go to B-level schools, because it always depends on your customers. I mean, the school they behave, their requirement, even what we have experienced, I mean, very closely. And I don't know how many of the people who are there in the on the call today, even from since it's a 30 days period of for us, continuously we putting ads on the newspaper. If you guys have checked, Times of India ho, or if you talk about the local newspaper, or if you talk about the Bombay Times, etc., etc. I mean, till date we have received more than 28 to 30,000 calls, and you, I mean, it is completely opposite. The people who's talking from Bombay and the person who's talking from Kolhapur, their requirement is completely opposite. So from where I am coming from is, if we say that WhatsApp is the right way to communicate to the customers, or going and meeting them personally is the right way to get the customers, it depends depends segment to segment. Maybe coaching industries work really well when it comes to sell the product, or forget about selling the product, just increasing the traffic, let them get aware of what actually you're selling to them. Because nowadays it has become a really, very big competitive sector in edtech, and every single, घर का दूसरा जो दुकान होता है, it's edtech. So everyone is competing with themselves, because sir is here who from Akash plus Byju's, Rohit ji is here. I mean, these people can understand we all are each other's competitors, and we are promising to our customers, be it the school, be it a parent, be it anyone, the stakeholders of the education industry, that we are the best for you. So according to me, according to my experience, and the experience which I've recently experienced in a time span of 30 days after putting the newspaper ads and getting the responses from the people, school have, because sir comes from the school industry, Podar school. So school has something, they have some, they are looking for really, very new and unique features from the edtech industry. They really want their students, of course, everyone wants to increase their success ratios to become the best school in Indian market, and to increase, of course, the admission. And in these three major elements, how we can solve their problem and can become a support system of a school is actually the not really the challenging part, but of course a discussing part. But when we go and approach to coaching like maybe Mahesh tutorials or Career Point, so they are completely opposite. So they really don't want what exactly the school want. So communication, I mean, it has to be very flexible. It cannot be same for everyone. और जैसे business होता है वैसे ही communication बदल जाता है. So yeah, so this is my, very personal experience from school to coaching institute, from B2C to B2B to again B2C.
Thank you for sharing your experience in the sector, and I totally get it, how challenging it might be with all the different requirements and high call volumes. So going ahead, I think
I can add one more point here.
Hmm.
Because this, I'm really getting very good response from the industry, from the school industry. If you can notice, if you have noticed the ad which we are putting in the papers, we are getting response, very good response in terms of AI. How we are using AI technology to help teacher, to help student. And of course, when student is, when we fulfilling the requirement of teacher and student, so automatically parent becomes the most important part, because they are the people who put money in the future of their child. So we are getting really good response from the schools in terms of what exactly sort of features, new features we are coming in the market, and how we'll be the game changer, because it's such a competitive market and there are multiple companies like Extra Marks, like Next Education, Lead School, because they are the direct competitors for us. So in this space, AI, the AI space, this has become a really good game changer for us.
Right. So Jyoti, just to add to your point, actually, the AI has become a new buzzword among among all the among all the buyers, right? And Prantik, just to add to your question, right? If you compare edtech with any other industry, probably you have much more cutthroat competition over here than in most of the industries, right? So especially considering the funding winter, the place where we are sitting right now. So
I think to add to your point, when there's cutthroat competition, what does win? Is it like obviously the quality of service, the quality of education, the content that edtech companies have matters. And I'm sure most companies who are at the top 10, top 20 in the edtech space or in the education space, they deliver the best. I mean, the country's best educators are with you. But how important is CX? I'm going a bit off topic, but since we opened up for discussion, how important is customer experience, personalization, and all that in the experience? And also one more thing is, obviously all edtech companies are reaching out to the same set of students. And then how important does this lead management system come into play, wherein who can reach out to a lead as fast? I mean, Jyoti just mentioned she's receiving 20 to 30 calls daily, but how are you able to reach them back at the same time? How fast, or are the leads going to some place in a way? I mean, more different markets, because you are, Jyoti is dealing with B2B, but Rohit, I think you are more B2C. So I think that's one more thing to consider, and we'll definitely discuss. But going ahead,
Prantik, just to add to your question, the one who wins boils down to only one thing. I'm mentioning it again, sorry, but who is able to impart highest success rate to the students? That's the most important equation that we probably have missed over the last 5-7 years of edtech boom. But if you check out traditionally over the last 5 decades, the players that won over here are the ones who have been able to impart the highest success rate. That's definitely the bottom line.
I think a trust builds
I just
from
wanted
success.
to I just wanted to add one point. I am in totally agreement with Rohit and Jyoti. See, we have to understand one thing, that first of all, we all people over here, we are holding a very, very important responsibility of reaching out to parent and student. First of all, we have to understand that when we say that, we want to solve the problem of a student or a problem of a parent, when we start thinking from that perspective, we will start bringing out so many things and so fast that, people will not get time to assimilate it and, to understand. If you see the kind of change which is happening after COVID, earlier people never knew what is Zoom. Maybe they never knew what was Google Meet, but now, people are wanting to use each one of them. So first of all, there was no problem pre-COVID. In COVID, the problem came. Of course, the people were envisioning that, such kind of things are there which will make the life better. So COVID gave them opportunity. But, after that, it happened that, we started competing with each other. As Jyoti said very correctly, we started competing. Now, in this competition, there was one very wonderful word, which was attracting the customer very fast. That was AI. So, if as far as I know, this lead management system and, all the working which are happening, see, how much ever you introduce a chatbot or you introduced AI into the practice, ultimately the last brain who is going to think about that lead and to cater to that, student and bring a success ratio to the student is a human being.
True.
So somewhere, that AI should not be empowering us. We should be empowering the AI to get a proper channel made for the student and the parent and provide the service to the student and parent. So ultimately, human beings are there into picture whom we have to think about.
Thank you, Dr. Santos. I think we have 4 more speakers waiting. And Debojyoti, why don't you share your views on the channels for communication in the education sector?
Thank you, Prantik. And it was really interesting to listen to all the 3 speakers before me. And I completely agree to them, their analysis of the situation. Sharing our experience, what I believe is that, technology or any kind of new thing cannot be working in isolation. So the first thing which I would like to share is that all our deliverables, if you look at Akash from 1988 onwards, we are in the market, and we had apps and technology even before COVID. Maybe it was not that popular or not that spoken of. Post-COVID, this EdTech buzzword, as I think Rohit shared, that it has become a real booming word. EdTech, I think, also is becoming an outdated word now. We are hearing a term called blend tech. So everything is becoming hybrid. So the first message I want to give is that anyone who is adopting technology, be it a sales function or a service function, it can be teaching, nothing can replace the physical classroom or the physical interaction or a seminar or the physical study material. This should go hand in hand. The hybrid model will work. Having said that, what has changed? We have adopted many technologies, different applications in all our functions. This has actually increased our reach. Like if I look at the Indian geography and demography, the digital divide, it is true that infrastructure challenges are there in many parts of India, and of course the behavioral patterns. Jyoti very rightly mentioned that someone talking from Mumbai and someone speaking from Kolhapur will be very different. We have faced that same behavioral change. However, smartphones have reached every corner of India. And one area where I find, if I look at a typical urban market, although students are smart, but parents are more involved. And if I look at my hybrid classrooms during COVID, the parents were actually observing the class themselves. And previously, it was a student feedback which went to the parents. This was a first-hand feedback from parents, which may not be correct all the time, because the parents' engagement or involvement is a different, a teacher-student relation is a bit different domain. Whereas if I look at the semi-urban or rural markets, if I look at the typical consumer behavior way of thinking, many of those students may be first-generation learners. I think they were more adopting this technology, and parents actually trusted them more. So when we went and spoke to those schools, those rural or semi-urban schools, when we talked of our deliverables, our technologies, I found the students really involving, and they are more aware. Internet has, in fact, bridged this gap and all these applications. So as I said, I will repeat that term, nothing is at the cost of anything. Same goes for schools. Like the school curriculum has its own part to play. They teach the language, they do personality development, they do a lot of group works, projects, and that is a holistic learning. Whereas if you look at an institution like us, we are more into the competitive exam domain. Of course, we also cater to the board exams. So it should go hand in hand. However, if I look at the entire Indian economy and the market, with due respect to the Indian education system and schools, states to states, the behavior patterns are different. I don't want to criticize anyone. I have been in the mainstream education also for a long time, but the schooling system is not that strong, and culturally not everyone is that focused. Like I will tell you, there are parts of India, including a part of the market I work in, where there is a term called a non-schooling system, where students prefer to go to schools only for exams. And with due respect, this kind of cultures prevail in India. Coming back to our topic today, CCaaS, yes, we should have a seamless kind of integration, all the forums, be it the offline seminars, be it the classroom, be it the face-to-face interaction with the marketing team or the sales team, or be it the online interaction through maybe WhatsApp or Telegram or maybe our own proprietary app. The same seamless communication should happen, and we should always deliver. I think that is our experience. And like I'll give you a simple example, be it a flood or a election or any kind of situation where a student cannot come to the physical classroom, technology has bridged that gap, and probably learning has become seamless. I'm very proud to mention that when COVID happened, I'm talking of March 2020, and our academic year starts in April, we could start off the classes in online mode immediately because we had these technologies earlier than COVID. Of course, new technologies came in. We had to empower our teachers with gadgets, with new softwares, and things took off from there. And now it has become part and parcel of it. So today, even in like give you an example, if you look at any center, any classroom of Akash, when our offline class is happening, also the faculty will log into the online system and teach it from there. And then what happens, the student who could not attend that same class can actually log in online to the same class. However, we always encourage that the offline system is the best option. It should always come in. Same happens for doubt clearing and mentoring. If you look at the one-to-one interaction with faculty or any kind of other kind of discussion, like in this kind of competitive domain, every school today, I think, have psychologists. We also have, and everywhere maybe physical one-to-one sessions, which we provide part of our curriculum regularly, may not be possible. We do it basically online. So these things are helping. So as I will sum up by saying that the technological intervention has its own part to play, and it has only empowered the student, the teacher, the parents. Parents are more sensitized now. Parents have, like, I address a lot of seminars across cities in Bengal and part of Bihar. So parents had this issue about this screen time and the impact on health and all this. So we had to really counsel them and communicate to them that how you can limit the screen exposure and where you need not do it. We do not expect a student to sit in a self-study mode at home and have the mobile phone on. That's not expected, and that's not wanted also. So this kind of, I think, lot of behavioral sensitization is required. We should be able to communicate. But still, there is a lot of apprehension that health hazards and this mobile addiction and these things are coming. So I think that part is something we should ponder upon. That's what I want to say.
Thank you, Devadoti.
One very interesting people must have observed over here. If you see, if I tell a student that you start learning from an online mode, I just want you to learn online. The student will say, no, sir, I don't understand online and it is very difficult. I want the physical teacher. But if a student wants a holiday, if he wants to go out, with his parent for vacation, and you tell him, "Arey, you will miss out the lectures," he will say, "Sir, you have given that app, na, Robomet Plus. So मैं उसमें से पढ़ लूँगा. Let me go on vacation." So this is very interesting, where we don't understand whether the student and parent want online or they do not want online. Sometimes I also feel that it is all students' perception, whether he wants to use it or not. It's a very interesting observation.
So
Moving ahead,
just wanted to understand your perspective. So in the post-COVID scenario, in Akash particularly, what percentage of your business do you see offline? Since you talked about the hybrid model and
No, actually, I won't be able to share the direct figures with you, but our purely online business, we have purposely made it very limited.
Right.
Our offline business is huge, and that's the major percentage, and that is itself hybrid. So that is the way I will put it. We had purely online courses during COVID time for obvious reasons, because when we could not provide offline services due to lockdown, so obviously there was a demand for low priced online options. But post COVID, and mainly because that was actually from the academic point of view, from the results point of view, we never wanted online to become the alternative. It is a second alternative, are less priced, and we actually consciously say this, that if you're going for the online version, it should be a compulsion, not the first preference. So that is the way I would like to put it.
In fact, with Edigoila, we have a vertical in which we provide a white label solution to the coaching classes, wherein they can take our technology and content, then they can leverage it to teach their students. And it's applicable for publication houses, tech companies, influencers, coaching classes, private tutors, and so on. And in the post-COVID scenario, these offline partners, we have seen a huge boom over there. In fact, in 2021, we had only 2,500 partners across the country. And in the last 1 year, we have been able to onboard 8,000 more partners in just 1 year, right? So right now we have more than 10,000 partners who are leveraging that solution. They are leveraging our app and website to teach their students. So what we have seen is there's a sudden boom in the offline partners who want to leverage technology to teach their students. But the technology is a backend, is an enabler for them rather than is a mainstream solution. The mainstream solution is
I would like to believe that, yes, absolutely.
Just understand that any coaching institute, if it is powered with some kind of technology, it becomes easy for the teacher and the institute owner. Like earlier, teacher used to make question answers with the hand, physically they used to make the question answers. But now so many, there is a question paper generator software, like we are having an in-house tool which is called as RoboAssess. So our teacher has to just enter difficulty level. He has to enter the chapter name, and he gets the entire question paper ready with just the format. So it becomes very easy for the teacher.
Exactly.
And also, the report generation and other things have become very easy. The analysis comes correctly. Earlier when we used to do it physically, we are not sure whether what analysis we are doing is correct or no. But now if the algorithm is correct, the analysis is going to be correct. So that is the reason why, Rohit, you are getting so many partners on board, because now people have started understanding. And let me tell you, thanks to COVID, that people started understanding that these things are possible. Earlier we used to have a block in mind that Arey nahi, ye kaise hoga? This will not happen. But COVID enforced us to do it, and this is how a new thing has evolved. There is one stage of evolution.
It might sound a bit rude, but EdTech has been a beneficiary of COVID, the major beneficiary.
Yes.
COVID created market, like it destroyed many industries. It destroyed a lot of jobs, but it created many jobs and made much business here.
Good. Moving ahead, I think I'll include one more question to Ms. Vikas, Dr. Bhushan, and Ram Pradeep in continuation with the communication channel which is necessary. One thing which, of course, Rohit mentioned was the decision makers in various stages are different. So it's an industry where the actual buyer is different from the user. Like Rohit mentioned, in K-12, the decision makers are usually parents. When it comes to GMAT services or skill-based tool, it's usually the students. So in an industry where the decision maker is maybe the actual buyer, the one who is paying the fees might be different from the users, even in the edtech space, where probably in Jyoti's case, it's schools which or colleges who's buying the product, but it's students who are the end users of it. So how easy or difficult is it to build connection over a multitude of different channels? And also you can please add your views on the communication channels which are necessary. So Dr. Bhushan?
Thank you for the opportunity. I feel that technology is best when it brings people together. And I am going to be very suggestive because we have our participants here who basically shared about the businesses, their proposals and strategies. I feel that learning will always happen when the children, that is the students as well as the parents, are convinced. It connects home and school and it makes a great community of learners. It also helps the parents become, productive partners in the development of the child. So whenever we talk about businesses, even at a great level, we must have parents as our productive partners. We basically always ensure that we reach out to the parent with the right information. There has to be conviction from the parent as well as the child when learning is essential and learning becomes the core.
Very
It is
true.
crucial and significant to support all the stakeholders at all the time as required. And I feel that the communication channel, which I feel is necessary by EdTech and education firms, which can be multilingual communications as well. These are just going to be suggestive with reference to the first question, which says that communication channels deemed are necessary for the EdTech. So I'm just adding my suggestive pointers to this, that EdTech may have multilingual communication tools, because you're not limited to only one particular region, you're reaching out. And probably the parents or the students who are not so proficient with the primary language of instruction may need greater clarity on what you basically offer. Secondly, video conferencing, virtual classroom, which we have already experienced, and lot of discussions, question answering sessions, regardless of the geographical location of the students, which you as well as we do offer that. And the interactive learning management system, with the scope of messaging as well as chat functionalities, has taken basically this EdTech requirement to a next level. One more point I would like to add over here, that I must say that Sir added, Dr. Santosh added, which I would like to reiterate, that data analytics and learning analytics, wherein which the data is being utilized so well to track the students' performance and engagement, where the learning analytics can provide valuable insights towards individual learning patterns and allow teachers to tailor their support and interventions more effectively, so that even if the parents are quite busy, they know how the child is learning with you. So that is a very important scope. And coming down to the key challenges of communication, I feel that it is essential for all the EdTech contact centers to give students a seamless communication experience, wherein which there is a connection, there is a trust with the actual buyer that you're basically terming as a student, and presenting some unique experiences to the buyer, wherein which the communication and the trust is established. The key challenges also include the driver's communication preferences of the students as well as parent. It may change with the region too. So they have their own preferences. Now the schools even have their different communication preferences. Nowadays, we are also facing, I cannot be so sure, but then we are facing with the privacy as well as the consent related concern when we deal with the students, especially the minors. And yes, information accuracy is again one most important thing, where miscommunication, inaccuracies. The emotional connection is also very, very important, because it's an online platform. Establishing trust and rapport probably through the digital method only may not be so successful every time. So we need to think about that aspect also, that we need to be very thoughtful while sending certain messages or engagement strategies too. And lastly, I would like to summarize that building a connection and trust is very, very important when communication through digital channels do happen. It has to be very thoughtful, personalized, and empathetic approach. So this is what I feel that these are the challenges what the tech probably may have. Employing appropriate strategies and organizations can improve their success while they connect with the children, parent, and the school. This is my suggestion.
Thanks, Dr. Bhushan.
And
moving
one
to-
thing I want to add over here, a
Yes, sir.
very important process is training the parents.
Yes.
Like I'll give you one instance. Like, we have one very wonderful tool which is called as SIP, Student Information Portal. So we called it Parent App, at Mahesh Tutorials Lakshya. So, we named it as Parent App because we wanted the parent to go to the app and see the child's schedule, see the child's performance progress. But one day I just happened to be at one of the branches, where there was PTM, and the branch manager was distributing the report card to the parent. So I asked the parent, I went into the class where the session was going to happen. I asked the parent, how many of you have seen this report card earlier? And let me tell you, only 20 to 30% parent raised the hand. And I told the parent, did you know that this report card has been downloaded from an app which is given to you already? And the parent was surprised. And I made the parent open the mobile phone, look at the app, download it themselves. And I said that, see, this you can do every Sunday when the child gives the exam, a summary report comes, and on Monday a detailed report comes, and you can do it every week. Now, this is what training is required to the parents. If we don't train the parent, there are a lot of resources available in the phone, but we are not using the resources. And we are waiting again for that PTM to come up.
Right, sir. So technology is available unless and until the parents are productive partners. Conviction has to be there from the parent as well, as because we all want success rate, right? We all want successful children, and those can basically take our businesses ahead. So those partnerships definitely work well, and it must.
Yes, sir. Totally in agreement, sir.
Moving on to Vikas.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So it was a lot of interesting discussions going on and quite a good notes to be drawn out from the situations. See, I will put this, I always feel that if you understand the history and the geography of a concept, you will be able to understand the science behind it. So I'll put it across the way I actually consult my startups in doing businesses. In 1969, Mr. Philip Kotler introduced a word called as segmentation, targeting, and positioning, STP. Now, when he discussed this STP bit, he meant was that there should be a segmentation of the target audience and a learner persona. In this case, why I'm using a word learner persona is because we're talking about EdTech. Otherwise, this could supply to any other market as well. What is the learner persona? Let's say K-12 is the persona that we are talking about. Maybe test preparation market is another market that we talk about. Degree graduation, those kind of a market, exam market. I mean, you can talk about that. Professional courses is another market. So these are the personas that you may talk about in your segmentation bit. Then when you do the targeting, you actually choose the persona where your product fits in. And when you do the positioning, the STP model, the P model, the positioning model, that is where you require something called as integrated marketing communication, which came 20 years after the word STP was formulated by Mr. Philip Kotler. And this was driven from the fact that if I have to reach out, if I have to communicate to a particular target audience, 20 years later, in 1989, the American, I'm just talking about from the global perspective itself, the overall perspective when it comes to devising an integrated marketing communication, the American Marketing Association came up with this terminology that we cannot rely on one particular aspect, because you may have a newspaper ad which is doing good for you, but you cannot ignore that there is something new called as WhatsApp, which has already come in. So they described a certain feature around all of this integrated marketing communication, which I personally feel is also now 30 years old. There would be new AI things which will get added to it, because in those days, the additions were only 8. The media outreach, the advertisements, the branding, the full blogging, the direct selling, social media, public relations, all of that formed the overall integrated marketing communication, which even today, most of the marketing agencies are using, and this is how the communication is happening. The way the current structure is, I heard somewhere that we need to talk the way it has to reciprocate it from your persona. Now that is where the most critical aspect comes in. One of the startups that I was working for was Simply Learn, wherein I'll give you some hard facts and numbers here, because now I'm no more part of the system. We created some integrated marketing channels wherein we were spending around 6 crores of rupees every month. And in this 6 crores, offline was just probably 10% of it, or maybe 5% of it at times. Online was the remaining portion, but in the online, we had so many aspects that were covered. Now, when we talk about online, WhatsApp, emailers, and sometimes push buttons, notifications, intranet apps, these are the some things which come directly in front of us as the most used format. But then there are a lot of retargeted ads. Then there are a lot of ads wherein you trail people to their history of where the search happened, where the origination of the search happened, and how you could actually integrate your SEO and SEMs there, and how you can send your push notifications there. Now, when you are doing that bit of a marketing communication, this devises the overall approach that you should take for a particular persona. It could be K-12, which we are discussing right now. It could be a proper B2B setup wherein right now my role has been in the NIIT wherein I am working with, but it involves a certain integration of your overall approach. And this is where I feel the overall, I mean, it's not about just one aspect of it, but overall leveraging the contact center as a service will revolutionize and is revolutionizing the entire educational institutional communication channel. The way we are interacting with the students, providing the platform and creating the interactivity is the most important aspect when it comes to the experience, and the experience will derive more and more people coming up to your doorsteps. It could be a voice, it could be a video, it could be social media, it could be endless, seamless, real-time engagement that can happen. And when we say that we need to train parents or a secondary persona from the persona that we are trying to engage, because that's the persona who actually pays money, there is a lot of adoption and there is a lot of stickiness to your technology of communication that needs to get created. Else, I have myself struggled a lot in which I have tried people to kind of use and respond and be proactive, but somewhere the human nature of being laid back kicks in again and again. So the way I will have to define my overall marketing strategy would be that probably with the similar set of work that I'm doing, I create more and more stickiness and repeatability from the customer to come back and check things. It could be certain ways, like one of the schools, I cannot name them because I'm consulting them right now. They have come up with something called as an intranet facility. A small link is being sent on WhatsApp on a daily basis of what the child has been doing. And you click and it pops up. You click and it pops up. And there is an option of muting it. So in case you mute, it sends a notification that it has been muted. The next face-to-face interaction that you do, it is subtly put across to the parent by saying that since you have muted, we would like to show you the physical copy. Else, there are so and so percentage of the people who are already aware of what's happening. Now, that's where a negative and the positive reinforcement actually works in the mind of the secondary persona, which tries to understand where the gap is, and probably the gap would lie with him. And that is where you do not have to train the person. It's probably the person feels that there is a fear of missing out, FOMO. And if you are able to create that FOMO, wherein others are utilizing and you are not, that is where this entire concept stands true. And automatically the adoption rate went up from 20% to 35%, 65% as of now. We're looking forward to make it more than 90%. Some hard facts, some hard data. And this is how I think the entire channel has been worked upon. One last point I would also put across over here is, in terms of overall lead management and in terms of making this lead looks a little better, there is something which is multilinguistic, is the way I see future going up. Now, you may say that it's part of that overall AI engine itself. Yes, I do agree. But one of the organizations where I was working with, it was not exactly an edtech per se. It was a hospitality sector. But the way they have evolved their engagement and their communication with their target audience is phenomenal, because this particular organization based out of UAE is able to interact with anybody in the globe on a real-time basis, speaking in Arabic while the person is understanding in his own language, real-time basis, zero lag. Just like I'm speaking in English right now, and you will comprehend on a real-time basis the same thing in Arabic, just for an instance, but there are 6 languages that they have chosen. Now, if you are able to bring out that kind of a personalization, you may never know that you can extend the ambit of your secondary persona from just mother and father to probably grandfather and grandmother. And you can try to enact and send the notifications and messages in a way that if both the parents are working and they find little lesser time, you have created an FOMO, still nothing is working out, but there is somebody in the house who might be interested in understanding what's going on, and they can actually leverage and adopt to the overall situations. So these are the smaller innovations which I still feel is happening in bits and pockets in the overall system of communication when it comes to the picture that we are talking about. And this is where I think contact center as a service will be of greatly importance in terms of how it will improve and improvise. I think this is what I wanted to add as a point.
Thank you, Vikas. And I think you have rightfully set the stage for Ram to give his opinions on the same. Ram, you've been listening and taking all the points, and please share your insights. Coming from the contact center industry, I think Vikas rightfully mentioned personalization being the key. And he also mentioned speech analytics or speech conversion, text to speech. So yeah, your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, Prantik. This was literally, I could take out some of the points. There was a lot of knowledge, and the other side we see from only one technology perspective, but the actual users, right? The businesses are here, the leaders are here.
Absolutely.
We are able to grab so much information, how they're communicating, the communication, how they are handling on a day-to-day basis. And we have seen, all the experts saying how the students and parents communication, and Dr. Santosh was saying about the screen time, how do we handle it? So all this, if I collate, I could list out from a communication channels perspective, right? So I would like to connect with a couple of points that today older adults, right, they are embracing technology, are not in like olden days. Now everyone has I remember one of the key speakers said that everyone has the smartphones, right? Dr. Deba Jyoti has highlighted this point. So when they are embracing technology and using it more and more in their daily lives, there is a study which is saying 76% of people are over the age of 55 who use smartphones. So interestingly, the study says children whose parents makes an effort to limit the media use, they consume the less media. So here it is important to point out which medium is most frequented or familiar medium for both parents and children, because we will have to communicate. That's what the all the experts were saying, which medium should we communicate. So while the data will certainly differ for each of them, it is important for the edtech companies to go omni-channel, because the popularity of the channels and the importance of each channel holds are two different things, and they can vary across demographies. So what I feel is building the connection and trust among students and parents. It is easy if the medium chosen is well researched, relevant and accessible. Not just that there are all the communication channels like say SMS, WhatsApp, all should not be just can be utilized in one go. It should be in a proper procedural way, because it is totally possible if the student sees a course ad, right? Like I was saying, I think Jyoti was highlighting that print media, publishing it and all. So when it is totally possible, if the student sees a course ad on a YouTube video, his parents scheduled the demo class through the website chatbot, and the payment link was shared via SMS, and the confirmation was made on WhatsApp. So it's all about the reach and accessibility. This is what I could just out from all the communications I could understand from the experts. So these are some challenges we will have to overcome by using a well-researched and planned, relevant and accessible mediums.
Ram, can you also share a use
What
case
I feel-
highlighting the effectiveness of CCaaS in enhancing? Yeah, Dr. Santosh, I'll get back to you after this.
Yeah, well, what I believe is, first of all, when we talk about the customers or the student, now when they get associated to one particular institute, they definitely learn the protocol followed by that institute. Like, if a parent or a student enrolls with Mahesh Tutorials Lakshya, so they know that, we have to follow the Robomed Plus, or we have to follow the parent app or SIP. So definitely, they are tuned in the mind that, whatever notification comes from Mahesh Tutorials or Lakshya, it will come in SIP. Now, the parent who are aware and who are going to follow the smartphone and, who know how to use that particular thing, they will get all the communication over there. Rather, when I put on WhatsApp, they will tell me, ki, sir, you tell me which communication we have to follow. Should we follow WhatsApp or should we see your SIP? Because last time you sent one message on WhatsApp and I tried to see it on SIP to validate it, but there was nothing in SIP. So, we have to also understand that a parent or a customer should not get confused with a lot of things coming up. Rather, there should be one particular mode followed. Like my child is in DAV school. So they follow one app which is called a Snap Homework. Now, if you tell my wife to see any other, media for any message from DAV, she would say that, no, wait, let me see in the Snap Homework. If it is there, then it is genuine. Otherwise, it would come, somebody will send some messages. I know there is one parents group in WhatsApp, and what one of the parent will do is they will download from Snap Homework and put it on WhatsApp. But my wife will go back to Snap Homework and validate that, अरे वो कुछ गलत information तो नहीं आ गया, old information भी भेज देते हैं. So that is how a parent or a customer gets tuned with what protocol you are going to provide to them. So for every institute or organization, there is one pattern which has to be followed, and the parent has to be trained properly to use that particular pattern.
Absolutely.
And you will see the communication, everything go very smart. Now, for a student perspective, one thing which I have observed is, when a student goes into open media, if I talk about YouTube, if I talk about, the social media and everything, they are ocean. And you enter into that ocean, you want to find a pearl, but it is so huge for that student that he doesn't find anything. Rather, give him something customized, where would suffice his requirement, perfectly what is needed for his, the success which Rohit was mentioning about, that, we are talking about success of the child. So what is required for the success of the child? Let us give it in that particular pond or pool manner. After all, for exploration, there is a lot of ocean available for exploration. But for specific requirement, there is pond or pool. And let us make that pond and pool very engaging and edutainment type of thing, wherein a student is getting education as well as entertainment, for which he is trying to seek it in other medium. And whatever child is doing, those communications should go to the parent in the form of one particular app or one particular mode which we have trained them, so that he comes to know what student is watching at, what student is following, what is the success ratio of the student, what is the progress tracking happening with the student. All those things come in that particular app. So this integration of what student is using and what parent is given report of, that is required. So for example, in our company, we are giving something called as Robomed Plus, which is curriculum based app for a student. His textbook is explained in the form of video. Now from that app only he goes to the Robo Assess, wherein he gives online test, and whatever he watches and whatever test he writes, that report parent gets in SIP, and we call it as Robo Connect. So if you see, this is the integration which is happening. Similarly, every institute is having its own app which has to be integrated with whatever services are being provided to the student, and the parent gets the report out of it. So this is what is required in current context. That is what I feel.
Thank you, Dr. Ram, quick question on, can you tell a CCaaS journey, which I was talking about, a use case which you have implemented and how it has helped the EdTech on education sector across journey? Like, this is not just right from lead management to the entire flow.
Yeah, sure, Prantik. What with our experience, even I was a part of the journey. Okay, one of our clients, even I'm in their client base, right? So what they have achieved using our channels and integration, like Dr. Santosh was highlighting, that integration is also should be seamless. So using all this in place, they have done a seamless integrated omni-channel student experience. So this edtech company has reduced the registration time and accelerated the enrollment process by utilizing the voice channel, which is provided by our CCaaS platform, and the digital channels. I'll tell you one of my journey which happened coincidentally. They are using our services and I am using their services. So when I registered for a course in this edtech website, they reduced the registration time as soon as the lead is generated. So the counselor, right? They did a click to call. Maybe it's very short span of a time. The lead was assigned to a counselor. The counselor did a click to call from the lead management system, what they are already using. And that has been integrated with the voice application, which is a telephony solution or a voice solution. And the enrollment process has been made easy for them. It got reduced. The lead journey time has got reduced. And then, they did a follow-ups to me on a digital medium. Like say on SMS, they were sending a links and they were sending a WhatsApp messages as well. And they did a follow-ups on the dialers as well. So because I was facing some difficulty or I was taking some time before I did a complete payment. So I got the payment link, all these details on an email, and there was one counselor, and again there was another counselor who was coordinating internally and connecting to me in a timely manner. Okay, so they were doing they have enabled the intelligent routing capabilities across the digital channels also. They were consuming our omni-channel voice and chat experiences. So whenever I started a communication, the chat was connecting to the same counselor who has connected to me very initially. So this is something of sticky agent, we say. So this helped for them to do all the functionalities in a unified platform. And what else we can do? These are some my personal experiences. What are the other things we can achieve also is automated dialers, right? If you would like to do a follow-up call, so we can achieve through auto dialers. And there is a broadcast. Most of the schools or colleges would like to utilize this service. Even in Bangalore, one of our EdTech client is using the service. They would like to broadcast about a payment reminders. Or you would like say there is a lot of rains happening across. You would like to send out a message, or you would like to send out a voice prompt saying, today we are declaring a holiday, or there is a so-and-so timings has been changed for the school or a college. So all these communications can happen. So when do we achieve this? When that lead management, when you are maintaining all the leads in one place, and that lead management is tightly integrated with through a APIs, right? So to send out a message, you would like to trigger an automated message, then you will have to filter some data. You can write some workflows in the lead management system, and that will automate the process, and it will shoot out a message automatically. It can be a WhatsApp bot also. A lot of bots have come in picture. You can ask for a feedback to the parents about the classroom experience or online classes experiences. The bot can capture the inputs, and the data, the omni-channel platform can pass out the data to lead management system. So you do have the raw data with omni-channel platform, and the actual data is passing into the lead system as well. So you will have all the journey, 360-degree view journey in one place, right from the lead gen, then following up on through voice channel or digital channels. You do click to call, then the call ends and the raw data is available. And nowadays people would like to listen, and there were days I know when we started way back in 2012 and 13. So they were having a QA team, right? Quality assurance team. You need not go and listen to the voice calls or something. So there is something, lot of automation has come in picture. We can provide a transcription on that voice recording, and the transcription can provide you the keywords, what communication has happened. So all this, you can have all in one place, the consistent lead flow and the efficient lead management. not only the tech companies not only need to embrace omni-channel, but also to have a right mix of technology and human agents.
Absolutely, Ram. Now, there's an audience question, and we would like to say that we are running out of time and just 10 minutes left. So, and two of our speakers also have a hard stop at 5. How the question that we have from the audience is, this is a question by Mr. Sanjoy. How do we give classroom or / online students a personalized experience in terms of doubt solving? Anyone who wants to take this up? I think this is for mostly online, if you want to say online edtech experience, and someone has a and the teacher is not present virtually, like physically, he's present virtually. How can you give a personalized experience in terms of doubt solving? Anyone who wants to take this up quickly?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, as I said, we don't do it in isolation. It's a hybrid mode. So, you know, like every student has his or her own sets of strengths and weaknesses. So personalized doubt clearing and mentoring is very important. See, like you can do it offline in the institute. If you are doing it online, you cannot travel every time. It's very simple. You do it through technology, like the way we are talking. We are all sitting in different parts of India, I believe. So similarly, a one-to-one platform is very much possible. And we do it. We, of course, have our own technology for that. So, and plus, one is the face-to-face interaction, which is very important. Because, you know, like we can have a curated, you know, library of doubts and, answers. But, doubt clearing, what I believe personally as a teacher is that when you go to a teacher for a doubt, a student comes to a teacher for a doubt, that doubt has a lot of leading doubts. And that has to be very personalized, like what kind of difficulty I am facing in which subject, in what kind of questions. So a bit of mentoring also comes in. And why to narrow it down as doubt? It is actually mentoring. Some students face anxiety. Some students actually have this additional amount of exam pressure. So that is where, both academic as well as non-academic doubts come in. So technology can solve that. We can do it like, if I look at AI, yes, there are solutions where, you can have ready-made, library of solutions where students can go and pick and choose. That will probably solve the technical part of the doubt. But when you come to the behavioral part of the doubt, which is more like a self-doubt, that is where interaction is required. But as I told in the beginning, in all our deliverables, it is not an alternative, but it is a comfort. Like if I cannot come to the institute few days before the exam, actual exam, like the school exam or a board exam or a competitive exam, but I want to communicate with my teacher or my mentor or my counselor through technology. That's very much possible. That's it.
So keeping in,
we have to be ready with all these resources, because the importance of these resources will be felt by the student at the time of need. Like as Debujyoti was telling, a student is having doubt. Imagine tomorrow is a student's exam and today at night 10 o'clock he gets a doubt. Now at that point of time, whoever out of us reaches to him, he is going to use that particular resource.
True.
And at that particular time, if whoever misses him, misses him. So it all depends, how we are ready with the resources. But remember one thing, that customer will come to you only when he needs the particular resource as per his benefit.
Thank you. So I think keeping in the time, I'd like to finish this up by asking one final question to all the speakers. This is a short final closing remark. How can you optimize the omni-channel journey for your particular organization type? I mean, since we have schools, we have edtech companies, we have B2B edtech companies, we have B2C edtech companies, we have coaching institutes. How can you optimize this journey? I would like to have the answer with respect to communications only, with respect to the communication channels, and not regarding the education technology that you're including, but with respect to what technology you are using to communication channel you're using to disseminate the knowledge. To, for example, we talked about the parents were not aware of a particular tool which was given to them to the remarks, but I think via technology, via constant WhatsApp messages, via SMS, or via even IVR blast, we can always update them. We can always educate them. So what do you think works to ensure that an omni-channel journey is possible? Mr. Vikas, can you start?
Thank you. In my organization, we have been doing two things. One is for internal audience. When I say internal audience, if a learner is enrolled with me, that also becomes an internal audience to me. And the employees that we have is also an internal audience to me. So we extensively use Slack channel, which is the only medium through which we interact. Any message on the WhatsApp, you're not supposed to respond to it also. And we do not encourage a WhatsApp communication to go. Any kind of a message, official in nature, has to be looped in to a Slack channel. If there is a mail which also goes, the mail gets integrated with the Slack channel. So there will be a copy that will reside on the Slack channel as well. So Slack remains one of the major contributors when it comes to internal audience. And when I say internal audience, I already mentioned that learners who get enrolled are also part of my internal audience system, even though the login IDs remain a little different from what the regular employee login IDs are. And when it comes to the external audience, who are, let's say, my prospect base, who are, let's say, my interaction base, but they have not still become my internal audience, we use a CRM. There are multiple CRMs in different views that we have, but right now we are quite heavy on Freshworks, wherein we are able to communicate quite well, send emails, respond to them, have queries, do webinars, have periodic checks with them, health checks on terms of where they currently stand, the stages of the discussions, wherein what is the level of their interaction currently, what stage they fall into from the entire funnel perspective of them being right now just an inquirer to the final customer, and all that ICEP model of awareness, interest, consideration, evaluation, and purchase. We do all of that only through the CRM as a channel. So these are the two platforms that we use, and we are able to manage that quite robustly.
Thanks, Vikas. Thank you for your answer. And I believe you have to leave for a meeting. So I think.
So thank you so much, everybody. And I have a very hard stop. There is a very important client meeting that is coming up. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, Santosh, Ekta, Ramdeep, Jyoti ma'am, Debajit, Prantik, yourself, Dr. Bhushan, Srishti, everybody. Thank you so much. If I missed any name also, apologies. But this was great interacting, and love to be part of this kind of a discussions anymore happening. Thank you so very much, people. Allow me a
pleasure meeting you, Mr. Vikas.
Thanks, Vikas.
Jyoti, your thoughts on the same?
So, I mean, it's very simple and straight answer. In terms of, I mean, using the communication channels, we have Salesforce, and earlier we were using Lead Square. And both, I mean, very similar with their features. And yeah, I mean, WhatsApp and other mediums are, I mean, still we are using. But for seeing the leads, I mean, from calling the prospects and putting all those comments which we get from tier 1 or 2 or 3 cities, any person, we have this Salesforce in place. So yeah, I mean, Salesforce is the
Quick question: How are you tracking those 30K questions, 30K queries that you're getting by?
We have a team of, so we have a team, we have an in-house team. We have people who are working day and night since I mean quite long time now. So we have team B, I mean B answers the so we have break down the team into multiple this thing. I mean, there are people who attends the call, and then there is another team who respond to the customers. Then there is a team, I mean, the B team is answerable to the C team, and they explain to the C team that these are their these are their questions. Then the C team will answer those questions. They arrange those demos, they arrange those presentation. I mean, stuff like, I mean, this is a huge channel which we follows, and yeah, it's working really well. So we have a lot of demonstration. We have done a lot of presentation in the schools and especially the franchisee partners.
Thank you for answering the question. Debajyoti, again, I know you have to leave early too at 5. Not early, that's
as I'm technically a non-technical person, so omni-channel communication, yes, you talk the same language in every medium, and of course you walk the talk. Salesforce is being used by our admission teams for a long time. Apart from that, all the things which were being spoken of, we are using our own technology. We have our own apps and systems. So I don't want to mention the names in this forum, but it is a common knowledge in the market. So be it doubt clearing, be it classes, we also discourage personalized communication. Even if not personalized, sorry, that was the wrong word. I'm saying that in personal channels, like as I think Rohit said or somebody that no, I think Mr. Vikas said that we don't encourage WhatsApp direct communication. So like in the beginning of COVID, yes, WhatsApp and Telegram were being used, but very soon we came up with our own dedicated app, and that was good enough to manage this part. So that's it. We talk the same language everywhere. And then I want to mention something over here, like any market which will boom, it will bring in more and more players. And as we discussed about cutthroat competition in the beginning, competition is obvious, that will remain, but there are chances of a lot of collaboration and talking the same language. If you're talking of AI, or if you're talking of chat GPT, or if you are talking of any kind of chatbots or any this automated these things, we should not talk anything which damages the receiver's confidence, be it parents or students, because that will hurt everyone. I think this is something all the players have to think of, that when we are marketing our brand, talking about our products and technologies, you also create, like as we know in a common management knowledge, that you, instead of eating into each other's share of the pie chart, you increase the size of the pie. I think that will be a better way of doing business. So this is the message which I think I would like to part with. And thank you very much, all of you. It was really learning session, and it was really lovely. I'm sorry, I will also have to move out now. I'm traveling back.
I'm sure.
So
I
thank
think
you so much. Good day, all
I'm
of
getting
you.
message requests from the speakers. Ram, I think your thoughts, and I'm trying to quickly wrap this up. Yeah.
Good day.
Thank you so much, all of you. We have taken a lot of insights. What if I want to conclude on this with all the inputs we gathered? Omnichannel communication offers limitless possibilities for edtech and education industry as a whole to grow by leaps and bounds, because it never lets the companies or students miss any information. So ultimately, we are in the place of communication, and then we take it to the next level. Companies or the edtech organizations can connect, convert, and retain on a unified platform. Not only that, but having an omni-channel setup makes enrollment campaigns efficient, and lets the edtech companies measure the ROI also is important, right? The ROI against each campaign with ample scope of introspection and the re-engagement. So agents will be happier, and they spend more time solving complex queries, since 50 to 60% of redundant work gets fully automated. That's something what I would like to conclude.
Thank you, Ram, and I totally agree with your view. Dr. Bhushan? You're on mute, sir.
I'm very happy to state here that with the emergence of technology in the field of education, we are able to provide, as per the discussion, like a 24/7 accessibility and support to all our students as well as parents. So this is something very great. And also, I would like to appreciate that the learning barriers, what the students probably may have, feeling uncomfortable, like seeking help from the teachers or the peers because of the time-bound activities or the workload, and also the anonymity being provided by the technology will, or definitely is going to encourage all the shy or the introverted students to ask questions and seek assistance without any hesitations. So we are actually bridging the gap for the learning, and we are definitely expecting this education marketing as well as recruitment, remote learning, and global reach to take a next step and a leap ahead. So definitely, yes, this omni-channel workflow is with the kind of a setup and listening I had today, is definitely going to optimize the buyer journey. So very positive on this, that aspect. All the best.
Absolutely. As a technology provider, we also hope for the best for the industry. Dr. Santosh? Dr. Santosh, I think you have frozen. Rohit, you there?
Yes, I am.
Sorry, Prantik, I have to leave.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for
Sorry.
joining, Jyoti, and I can totally understand.
I also have a hard stop.
And I would like to say thanks to everyone. I mean, people joined. And it was really nice meeting everyone today. And hoping हम लोग वापस दोबारा मिलेंगे.
Definitely. I think this is the first time where we have run out of
Personally,
time
we'll
and
meet everyone.
sure.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, actually, I also have a hard stop at 5 o'clock. So
Yeah. I think Prantik, we can
Thank you.
conclude because
Okay, I think we can wrap this up. Thank you everyone for joining. I think to wrap this up, it was a very insightful, very deep discussion where we covered a lot of things and absolutely, in fact, I did not even finish all my questions because it was actually a wide range of topic wherein we not only talked about technology, we talked about technology from multiple sources of views. We had schools, we had coaching institutes, we had edtech firms, we had learning how they have embraced technologies, how omnichannel communication can really help bridge the gap. We talked about personalization being a source and how personalization can be achieved through the integration between the CRM, the lead management system, and of course, a communication network like Ozontel. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll also like to thank all the speakers for really giving us their time, and it was a very enriching and wonderful discussion here today. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you all. This is
Thank you.
Ekta
Thank you,
again.
Prantik.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would also like to thank everyone and on behalf of Ozontel team and the Branalytics, thank you all the speakers for taking out your time. We shall be sharing the entire video session on a thank you email and would also be requesting you for your convenient date and time to reconnect for a virtual brainstorm session with Ozontel team about their interesting solutions on educational and tech industry. So on that note, thank you once again. Have a lovely evening and stay safe.
I also have to thank Dr. Santosh.
Bye.
Sorry, we could not, we lost you at the last moment, so we could not take your finishing thoughts. And thank you for joining
That's
us.
absolutely fine. In fact, I had already given my insights, earlier.
Yeah,
And
thank you,
suddenly I
everyone.
had a power cut. Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.